Your week turns upside down when you receive a thick envelope from an aggressive HOA you've never heard of. Inside is a lawsuit claiming you owe $4,800 in unpaid HOA fees, late penalties, and community violations. There's only one problem. Your home isn't part of any HOA. You never signed anything, and they have no legal claim on you. But the HOA board refuses to listen. They attach fake maps, forged documents, and even a photocopied contract with a signature that isn't yours. They threaten liens. They threaten court. They even tell neighbors you're a danger to the community. Fine. If they want court, they'll get court. The day of the hearing arrives, and the courtroom is packed. The HOA board walks in smug, waving binders, ready to teach you a lesson. But when the judge looks at the documents, his face freezes. He flips the pages again, then slowly raises his eyes. These documents are forged. Suddenly, everything changes. The judge calls out every illegal tactic the HOA used, and then delivers a ruling nobody saw coming. The entire HOA is being dissolved for fraud, extortion, and harassment. The board members go pale. The courtroom gasps, and you finally breathe, because today, the bully got crushed. By the law they tried to use against you. The lawsuit arrived on a normal Tuesday morning, no warning, no knock. Just a thick envelope shoved into your mailbox like someone wanted to ruin your day fast. You ripped it open thinking it was a mistake, until you saw the bold letters. Notice of legal action, unpaid HOA fees. You blinked twice, then laughed. Then stopped laughing when you saw the amount, $4,112.76. What the hell? I'm not even in an HOA, you whispered. Right then, your phone buzzed. An unknown number. Before you could think, you answered. A sharp voice snapped. This is Linda, president of the Lakeside HOA. You have ignored our letters for months. Pay now, or we'll move forward with a lien. You stepped outside looking at your quiet street, the same street you bought precisely because it had no HOA. I don't live in your community, you said calmly. I never signed anything. She scoffed. You live within our influence zone. We updated the boundaries. Check the map. She hung up. Your stomach dropped. Influence zone? Updated boundaries? What kind of nonsense was this? You opened the packet again and pulled out a map. It looked like someone had drawn a circle around your house with a marker and called it legal. That's when you noticed the signature at the bottom of the membership contract. Your name, written in handwriting that wasn't even close to yours. A full-body chill hit you. This is forged, you said under your breath. They actually forged my signature. A knock hit your door, hard. 3 people stood on your porch wearing matching blue shirts that said, HOA Compliance Team. The man in front said, We're here to take photos of your violations. Step aside. You stared at him. Violations of what? I'm not even in your HOA, he smirked. You are now, and just like that, you knew this wasn't a mistake. This was a setup, a scam, a power grab. But they had messed with the wrong person, because if they wanted a fight, you were about to give them one they'd never. Forget they walked straight into your yard like they owned it, snapping pictures of your mailbox, your truck, even the small patch of dirt where grass hadn't grown yet. The woman with the clipboard said loudly, Unapproved vehicle! Uncut lawn, mailbox not regulation height, like she wanted the whole street to hear. You stepped in front of her. Stop, none of this applies to me. She didn't even look up. It applies to everyone within the HOA zone. You frowned. What zone? I bought here because there's no HOA. The man with the camera laughed under his breath. Yeah, well, there is now. Your house is inside our new expansion map. You're lucky we're only fining you a few thousand. Something in you snapped, not in anger, but in clarity. This wasn't incompetence. This was a scam run by people who thought fear would make you pay. You forged my signature, you said quietly. The 3 of them froze. Then the woman smirked. We have all the documents we need. If you disagree, bring it up in court. But just know, judges always side with HOAs. She said it with so much confidence it almost sounded true. Almost. We'll see, you replied. They turned and walked off your property without another word, whispering to each other, laughing like they'd already won. The moment they were gone, you grabbed your phone and called your attorney friend Marcus. He didn't even let you finish the story before saying, Wait, they expanded their HOA without a community vote? That's illegal. And they sued you with forged documents? That's criminal. We're not just going to win this. We're going to bury them. Then he added something that made your pulse steady. Get every document ready. Court is going to be fun. You gathered everything, fake maps, forged contracts, threats, recorded calls, and built a stack so thick it barely fit in your backpack. 2 days later, you walked into the courthouse. The entire HOA board was already there, sitting together like a smug little army. Linda spotted you and whispered loudly to her group, "He won't last 5 minutes." But when the judge entered, something changed. He flipped through their documents, his eyebrows slowly rising, his expression turning from bored to confused, and then to angry. He held up the map first. "What is this?" The HOA lawyer cleared his throat. "Our expanded boundary map, Your Honor." "Expanded by whom?" "The HOA board." "And approved by which homeowners?" Silence. The judge's voice turned cold. "This map has no legal standing." Then he picked up the contract. "And this signature is obviously forged." The HOA board stopped breathing. You exhaled for the first time that morning. The judge looked up at you, then at them. "This case is not going forward. But we are absolutely not done here." Something heavy shifted in the room. And you knew the real fight had just begun. The judge leaned back in his chair, tapping the forged contract with a single finger. Each tap echoed through the courtroom like a countdown. "Forging signatures," he said slowly, "is not a civil issue. It is a criminal offense." The HOA board froze, every smug smile wiped clean. Linda swallowed hard, her eyes darting around like she was looking for an exit. The judge continued, "Before I make any decisions, I want every board member who approved this expansion to step forward." No one moved. He raised his voice. "Now." 5 of them stood up like kids caught stealing candy. The judge motioned them closer. "You knowingly submitted false documents. You knowingly claimed authority you do not have. And you knowingly harassed a homeowner who is not, and has never been, under your jurisdiction." The HOA lawyer tried to step in. "Your Honor, I believe this is just a misunderstanding." The judge cut him off with a sharp glare. "Sit down, unless you want to join them." The lawyer sat instantly. Linda took a shaky breath. "Your Honor, we were told—" "You were told by whom?" the judge snapped. "That you could redraw property lines with a marker and call it law?" The entire courtroom murmured, heads shaking, phones recording. People love drama, but real fraud? This was better than TV. Linda tried to speak again. "We thought—" "No," the judge said. "You didn't think. You abused authority you never had, and you tried to extort a citizen with forged evidence. Then he turned to you. 'Sir, would you like to submit your evidence?' You stood, calm but steady, and handed over your folder, every forged page, every threat, even the voicemail where Linda said, 'Judges always side with HOAs.' The judge listened to that voicemail twice. Then he looked at the HOA board with an expression you could only describe as final. "This stops now." You felt the room shift, like the walls themselves knew something big was coming. The judge closed your folder and delivered the line that made the entire courtroom gasp. "Based on the evidence and criminal misconduct presented, I am issuing a formal order to dissolve this HOA effective immediately." The HOA board erupted in chaos. "You can't do that!" "This is our community. He lives on our street now. He has to pay." But the judge raised one hand, and silence fell like a hammer. "No, he is not in your HOA. And now, no one else is either." You watched their faces drain of color, fear settling in where arrogance once lived. Linda pointed at you, voice trembling. You ruined everything." You shook your head. "No, you did that yourself." And for the first time since this nightmare started, you felt something you hadn't felt in weeks. "HOA sued me for unpaid fees, but I never signed anything." And the judge absolutely destroyed them. Watch how their fake power, forged documents, and shady threats unravel in court as the truth finally comes out. When the judge realized the HOA had no legal authority over me, no signed documents, and had even filed fake fee notices, she slammed her gavel and said, "This HOA is operating illegally. Case dismissed, and this organization is hereby dissolved." The room went silent. The HOA board looked like they'd swallowed a cactus. They tried to apologize on the way out, but I simply said, "Next time, try honesty." A month later, the neighborhood was quieter, calmer, and finally free from their power-hungry nonsense. Justice served. Drama over. Story ended.